Assalamu alaikum viewers, welcome to our next episode of North American Muslim Foundation's Seniors Talk. Today as our guest we have Zainab Saliani. Zainab Saliani is a substance of woman. Let us hear more about her from herself. Let us welcome Zainab Saliani. Assalamu alaikum Zainab.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Welcome to the North American Muslim Foundation's Seniors Talk Show. We are glad to have you on our show today.
Thank you for having me, Jazakallah, and it's my pleasure to be here today.
Thank you. So Zainab, let us start off with your immigration to Canada. Why did you choose Canada as your home?
Canada, as far as it's known as a country or a land of opportunities, and it was like my childhood dream at one time to be visiting Canada because I used to read books on Canada and all. But then came an opportunity that Canada is taking people and people who are qualified, educated, and it would be a good time for me to take this opportunity and emigrate here. And although it was not an easy task to leave the family, but it looks that where your risk is written, Allah sends you there. So Alhamdulillah, I'm happy to be in Canada. Despite all the difficulties and what I had to face through, but those challenges have made me more stronger.
Mm-hmm. So which part of the globe do you come from?
I come from Kenya, from East Africa, and it's a beautiful place. No one would want to leave it.
Yes.
Sunny, summery, it's never seasonal, never harsh weathers, but I'm quite an adventurous person, so I want to get everything what I can, and if I can give anything which I can.
Yeah, that sounds so good, quite adventurous. So I think that's what makes it more convenient, more possible for you to migrate in a new country and then settle down here and, make it easy for yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Alhamdulillah.
So did you face any challenges initially when you landed here?
Yes, there were a lot of challenges, although I have a few of my extended family relatives around. But I never wanted to be like a liability on anyone. I just wanted to be independent and be on my own and build my own future, learn the hard way. And despite the hard situation, jobs, I came at a very prime age where jobs at my age were not so easy to get. So it took me more than 2 years to be able to find the least job which I could be able to adapt in. But I was ready to take that challenge and try building from there.
That's good. What I see is you do have a very positive nature which you would like to apply it for your, going through the life process itself and the settlement process itself. So I'm sure that positive nature of yours has made it easier for you to adapt to the new culture.
Yes, it is. I always look at life in a very positive way because I believe that Allah has made things for you the way which are best for you.
Yeah.
And we're not there to complain what Allah has given us.
Yes, true.
So Alhamdulillah, that challenge and that effort keeps me ticking, and I feel like doing whatever I could impart, I would love to do that.
That's good. Yeah, so a bit of spiritual, understanding is definitely, healthier on a person's part, especially when you leave your parents, you leave your home country, you leave your friends, and then you decide to come and settle here.
Yes, it
That's
is.
True. Wonderful, wonderful, Zainab. Zainab, my next question to you was, do you receive any medical services? If so, how comfortable are you with attending your doctor's medical appointments, seeking, services through the medical department?
Medical as such with OHIP around, and it is more comfortable, but with the time lapse and the long waits for specialist appointments, and with certain medications that you have to buy through your own pocket. I am lucky that where I was working at the bank, I am still with them as on a disability basis. So my insurance covers me for most of my medical bills. But then there are certain things like dental care, optical care, you still have to pay out of your pocket, and that's quite a bit of a hole in the pocket, and many a times you tend to ignore. Okay, I can get away with it. It's okay, I cannot afford it. That affordability, it gets to you.
Yeah, I agree with you. So there are certain medications that you still have to make a payment for.
Yes, I do.
Okay, okay. Yes, I agree with dental. You know, most of the seniors, when we meet and when we talk to them about any other services, they usually talk about the dental services. And as you know, we have done a lot of awareness workshops where we were teaching them about the oral health. So oral health is also connected to mental health, where dental,
Yes,
you know,
it
is
is.
very important. Your appointments to a dental clinic is as important as your physical
It is.
appointment.
It is
I
very,
agree.
very important.
Yes, and even your eyes, you know, when you're
Yes.
going to an optometrist, you have to make sure you visit them every 6 months, because as you're aging, you want to age in a healthier manner.
It's true, yeah, I do.
I agree with you. And Zainab, I know that you're living alone. I heard it from you. And how do you cope up with your social isolation, and especially during the times of COVID? We all know that we are facing a global challenge with the COVID pandemic. How are you trying to keep yourself busy during these moments?
I am involved with a few organizations, a couple of communities where I try to keep myself busy with their activities, with trying to make some crafts for them, to be able to help them in different aspects, join virtual programs with them, and at the same time I am quite connected to my family back home, which keeps me a little occupied. The worst time is especially evenings, when with the time change, you are not, and everyone's in their own families, they've got to look at them. That is the worst time where I would feel the isolation and loneliness. But again, try to look at it with a positive way, that at least I have a home to myself, I'm at home, and I would keep busy, either recitations or watch the television, watch a program. I love to watch a couple of TV programs, so it keeps me busy with that, especially in the evenings.
Yeah.
I enjoy cooking, I like to cook, and it's just to keep myself mentally and physically occupied in some way. Although it's hard on me physically, I still push myself to be able to be busy.
Yes. Yeah, that's good to know that, you know, most of them have switched on to technology these days. We are all depending on the technology, especially to speak to our, you know, friends and families who are away from us, and especially living alone, as you have mentioned. I know the nights seem to be darker. It's during the daytime you're busy with the programs,
Yeah.
calling friends, but during the night, yes, you cannot call
It's tough, yeah.
anyone, right? I agree with you. But hearing what you're saying, it seems to me that you are utilizing your time in a very effective manner, and you're trying to do the best that you can to keep yourself healthy, to keep yourself connected with your family, and also utilizing the services, you know, that have, all these programs have been switched on to Zoom now.
Yes.
So I'm glad that you're joining those programs, because you're not alone. We might find many seniors who live alone but still are connected to the community very closely.
It's true.
That's good to hear from you. Any financial challenges that you face as a senior?
Yes, financial challenges are there with limited income and one person survival. It's not enough to be able to get through your way. Sometimes you have to forego a few things here and there, like try to like your phone bills, your medical. You just have to keep on balancing yourself. Do I need this plan? Do I go for this thing? Can I afford to do this? Can I afford to buy good food? Can I afford to go for some healthy diet? So those kind of things, you just have to compromise on a lot of issues where financials are concerned.
Agree with you, and especially as you're aging, I understand when we invite the dietitians for workshops, they're always asking us to take care of our diet. So at a certain age, then you get on to a special diet, which is definitely expensive. So would you like to express any help that you would be, many people like you who are sailing in the same boat could receive from the government in any form?
Yeah, it could be a very good idea if we can look into, or the government can look into, the prospects of at least seniors or people with disabilities or challenges to be able to be provided with certain coupons or subsidies in healthy food, or some sort of connection with an organization where they can be able to avail healthy food and lead a healthy life thereafter.
Look, I like that option, what you have said, if they are connected to certain organizations, because since you are connected to a few organizations, they could probably be helping, seniors as such, and providing them with coupons or gift certificates.
Yes.
So I think New Horizons is a great program, which currently we are recording about it. So maybe we can put it forward to them that, New Horizons could provide something like this, which would be a great help for seniors to focus on their healthy diet, so that later on it's not an expense on the medical system itself.
Yeah, not only on the medical system, at the same time to the family, because children would be having their own families to look after, and if they have their parents or grandparents to look after, it's a burden on them too, and it becomes more irritable for them that they cannot afford to handle the seniors even at home.
It's a great point. It's a great point that you said. I agree with you, because the children are also on one hand, comfortable saying this, yes, you have your pensions which you are getting every month, but at the same time, parents leading a respectful life, they also feel shy to address any financial issue to their children.
Yes,
I
it's
agree
their
with
dignity
you.
too.
It's their dignity, I understand. And as a senior, we wish everyone to lead a dignified life, because we really want the children also to be at peace.
It's true.
I agree. Those are such valid points that you have mentioned, Zainab. I'm glad about that you have come up with these points and suggestions that we could address, putting things forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. How do you balance your physical and mental health?
Physical health is more a very tough thing for me, because I need to get regular physiotherapy with my condition, what I am, and it's not so easy in this present scenario. Can't go to a physiotherapist, and at home it's very hard, and you can't I'm not allowed to use even the treadmill. Even if I had one at home on my own, I have to be supervised. So obviously having a physiotherapist, or going to a physiotherapist, going for keeping myself physically active with my condition, it's really hard. So I try to balance myself as much as I can. Like I said, try to keep myself up and down. I would not be sitting for too long in a place. Try to keep myself mobilized as much as I can. And mentally is like, just think positive. That's the only thing that, it's the way Allah has made it for us.
Yeah.
So that's the best thing, and Allah knows what's best for me. So I accept that and take it from there, and try to find positive things to do, help others, talk to others, mentor others, whether it's a child, whether it's an adult. Just be there to listen to them, and it gives me a lot of satisfaction. There's lots of people who would try to seek or want to talk. Just give them a good ear, and a shoulder to cry on, and it gives me that satisfaction.
Then, especially considering your physical situation, if you cannot go on the treadmill, then what are the options that you have to keep yourself physically fit, like doing a certain type of exercises, or joining a program that provides such exercises?
Like there are programs, but most programs, even if they are virtual, you have to pay for them. Some of them you have to pay even if they are virtual. So obviously financial burden comes in.
Yes.
And then you have to abide by their timings as to what's happening with the way it would clash with another program probably I'm going through. So it was not. So just the only thing is do my own exercises a little bit at home. The breathing exercises, a little bit of yoga type of exercises, what I can limit myself to on my own. That's the only thing I can do. But I would love to have or go to a physiotherapist and get it done in a very systematic way. But it's not possible.
So do you have to pay for the physiotherapy?
Yes, we have to. That's where another burden comes in for seniors especially.
Oh.
That although my insurance program covers, but after 65, I mean, then slowly, hopefully by next year or so, I would not be probably covered, and I would go under the that panel of getting the subsidized or compensated programs which are available through the government. But then if you have to pay from your pocket each time, it's quite expensive. You cannot afford to.
Yeah, it is. Now I can see that you have to pay even for your physical therapy, which you find it more comfortable and more healthier going to a physiotherapist because you cannot do the physical exercises required at home.
Yeah,
which makes more sense, right?
At the same time, it gives me an opportunity to get out of the house too.
Yes.
So that is another way of actually going out, being with people instead of being isolated at home.
Yes, that's true. And you know that there is, a professional who is taking care of your physical health at the same time.
Yeah.
And if there is at all any other treatment that you would be required, so he would be suggesting it to you. So going to a physiotherapist regularly is also something which is keeping you healthier.
Yeah.
Which is keeping you healthier, right? And regarding your mental health, because mental health is again connected to spiritual health and your physical health. With these Zoom programs, do you think we need to increase more programs within the community that maybe these programs could provide you? Some of the communities provide programs in the morning, some of them in the afternoon, or some of them do provide in the evening. And I know that programming can be expensive, because if you have to pay for a program again, then that's another additional added expense for you.
That's true.
So we do have the New Horizons programs which are free for people, but then every project is different and every program is different.
No, it's so very true that the more programs you have, how many people will be able to fit into that particular program, number one. Number two is that if you're connected to one program, you are having a lot of screen time too.
Yes.
You're just sitting and watching things. You're not again physically active in that. Yes, if you have a program which is more on a physical activity side, but what I have noticed, some people would be connected to the program, but because you don't have a supervisor or anyone looking at you, you have the program on.
Yes.
But you're not actually doing what they're doing.
What they're doing. Yes,
So
so just watching.
So it's our self-discipline which is very important.
I agree with you, because you're not absorbing what is happening there. You're sitting, you're absorbing, but then again, you're unable to react. You're unable to, interact in another way. So I hope so, because of the COVID, things have been changing. Programming has been changed. We have become more reliable to Zoom programs. Up to some extent, yes, it's very helpful, but I hope, the situation of this pandemic, improvises, we all get vaccinated and we get back to our normal lives.
I hope so. I pray so. The sooner the better. And we just hope that the whole situation just disappears overnight. That's what we pray for.
We hope so. We are all trying to do the same thing. I agree with you. And also, Zainab, you know what? When you take the transportation, what type of transportation do you avail, and then do you have to pay for it? Because when you go to programming, I remember when I did programming for people, they used to tell me, we have to pay for the TTC, and programming can be expensive for us.
Yes.
And we used to sometimes provide them the TTC tokens, but you can't do that every time.
No,
So-
yes, I really appreciate the fact that the TTC has done that to give us the wheel trans facilities and services, but at the same time it's expensive.
Yeah.
That each trip you take, you have to pay for every trip, and with the minimal income which a senior gets, if they look at their basic costs, this is a big hole in the pocket. Either they go to these programs, pay for the ticket, or forfeit on something else. So it's a balancing situation. If each trip is going to cost the senior or a challenged person, it's very it's not comfortable. It's very expensive for them.
Yeah.
So maybe we should look into a prospect that don't generalize the situation. Like CNIB has a program where they don't charge. The CNIB people, the people who are blinded, they are not charged. So why an exception for people who are with challenges?
I agree with you, yeah.
And not only challenges, seniors also with so limited income. Conditions should be looked at. You can look at probably their tax returns and see how they can be able to, if you provide your statement and be able to assess that use, you can be able, you are within the parameters to be able to receive a concession or free transport or subsidized transport.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and especially because of the baby boomers, you know, that we're going to have a rising population of the seniors, and programming too. Everyone is trying to provide a program there to keep the seniors active. At the same time, the seniors have a concern about transportation because the children are working and they cannot take the responsibility of a pick and drop for a parent. So in that situation, you know, it would really be preferable, like what you said, providing maybe like a pass, providing a free transportation for the seniors. And I understand seniors have been here 40, 50 years and they've been good taxpayers and they follow the, you know, protocol. And it would really be something appreciated, I think, if the government could provide. And they are looking into it. See, we have to consider the government is also trying to do the best.
That's so very true, that we have to be here, I mean, appreciated of what the government is doing. They're trying their level best. It's for us to acknowledge and appreciate and be able to respect what we are being provided by the government.
Yes, no, I agree. In Canada, seniors have been respected, and you know, everybody looks forward to, you know, meeting a senior and knowing about their lives. And at the same time, you know, talk shows like this are really good, where we can find out and figure out the gaps in the services.
It's true.
You know, and speaking, you know, a one-on-one, speaking to you, asking you what the challenges are, and your feedback is so valuable. And that's exactly what we're trying to do as organizations. We're trying to put forward the challenges that seniors have to make life easy for the seniors and have a respectable life in Canada.
It's true. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's very true. No, I enjoyed talking with you, Zainab. This is amazing, really. Do you have any, coming to my last question now, do you have any other suggestions in general for seniors?
Basically, suggestions would be, as I already pointed out, within transportation, medical care in particular fields which are not available. The most important thing is home cares, especially when a person comes to a certain challenges where home care becomes, and you're alone, a senior is alone, or a disabled person is alone. Home care is very difficult to get. So there is the certain organizations subsidized through the government and Ministry of Health, and they are provided with home care services. But those home care services are to a certain amount of hours a day or certain limited times in a week. That many times you're being helped, like showering facilities. How can they manage around the house if they should not get into falling at home, getting out of the bathroom, getting to do things alone if they are alone, or even with a family around. So those kind of services. Now, one big issue which I actually realized was at one time when I had to travel out of the country, and they don't, after 4 weeks, your services get cancelled. So if they are cancelled, now you have to start the whole process again. Now, there was a very big gap in between before you're assessed and then you're on the wait list and you're waiting. It could be over a year before you can be reinstated. Yes, you are reinstated those services. Now, if I as a senior want to go and visit my family or friends back in my home country, 4 weeks is very little, because by the time you go, it takes a week for you to get the jet lag over. And 4 weeks is very little time. So generally seniors would prefer, or like we can call it snowbirds, we can call them.
Exactly.
So when the weather is not good, it's even advantageous here for the government, because I'll not have services as long as I'm not here, but at least when I come back, when the weather is good and I come back, at least my services can be reinstated without going through all the hassle.
So isn't there a process that you could probably request them, because this is a very important challenge that you are facing, as you express that after coming back you have to reinstate everything, go through back from square one, and which can be very mind boggling, and it's not at all you're not at peace till they have the service back.
I do
so
go through
that
it every
affects
time.
you mentally, that
yeah.
affects you mentally.
Because I cannot do a lot of things around the house. I need help. And they cannot help me, oh, we have to wait. You have to be on the wait list. It has always been the case when I've had a couple of emergency times when I had to go back home. And it took me more than 4 weeks or so, and my services were cancelled. When I come back, I have to keep on calling. I have to keep on asking. I have to literally beg onto it. Nothing works in that way. They have to go through their own protocols. But surprisingly, this time when I came back, I was away due to COVID, and I could not return back. And when I did come back, and the flights were available to come back, and when I called them up after my period of quarantine, isolation period, and surprisingly, I was reinstated fast, and I was very surprised. How did that happen? No. So maybe COVID has helped me there. Yeah. I would look at it like
no. But hopefully, they are also trying to revamp the services. They are also providing the best possible services, and especially during COVID time, I can say Canada did really well comparing to the other countries.
It's so true. Another good thing would be what I would we have got so many senior homes, or where seniors are there. Why can't we look into an opportunity where, like, having home care people for the seniors in their own homes, because that home environment is a dignity for themselves. But if they are in a place, so much is being paid into those organizations, why can't, obviously employment will still be there.
Yes.
And instead of one nurse caring for 5 people, but they're going around, the same person is handling that same patient a whole day, and they would become like a family. I know at times it's a little difficult. They don't want familiarization and things like that. That is another issue which we have to look at. But at the same time, if that disabled person, senior person is in their own home, they feel protected, and they feel it's my domain.
Yes.
And that is so very important mentally for a person of that nature, because they built that home. They've taken all these years to build that home, and now we have to isolate them from their own home and put them into a new, it's very difficult psychologically.
And it is, because then you have to adapt to the new conditions of the new place, whereas your home is what you have built with your own hands.
Plus you have other people. You see, in those homes there are certain people with different issues. Someone would be, some other people, some patient might be having a mental issue. And that kind of a situation, and you're put into a nursing home or a seniors home with so many other similar kind of or worse cases, and instead of having a life, you want to say, let me get out of this world now, the sooner I get away. So that morality goes off in an individual.
I understand, because it's difficult for us to absorb what's happening to them and accept also, because the suffering, it can take a toll on any one of us. I agree. No, it was wonderful talking to you, Zainab. And as I had, previously introduced Zainab as a woman of substance, now you understand that why did I give her the title of woman of substance, because she has a positive attitude, she attends a lot of programs, and she contributes to the society. So seniors who are coming from across the globe, they're coming with such skill, such talent, and such moral, that they are passing this on to the coming generations in Canada, and they are a valuable asset to us, to the Canadian system. And once again, thank you all for watching us. And Zainab, thank you so much for joining us and providing your valuable feedback.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's my pleasure. And I hope what my views can be counted at some point in time, or they can be of value and help someone.
Now, hopefully that was the whole purpose of providing the senior talk, so that we can personally speak to you and try to find the challenges that you're facing so that we can pass this on and we can see what we can do and what sort of a help we can provide to our seniors living within our communities.
There was one very big thing which I realized that the government subsidized a lot of what you call gadgets or services in the sense of like wheelchairs and walkers, but the subsidization is up to a certain level. Already the prices are so hiked up.
Yes.
And then they're subsidized by the ADP. Poor senior cannot hardly afford to pay $100 for a walker when the walker is, let's say, 475% is covered by the ADP or whatever, and especially with people who have to have motored scooters.
Yeah.
And they're going over $10,000. Even if ADP covers 75%, where will that poor senior find $2,500 to be able to pay upfront for a motorized scooter?
Agree. That's another valid point that you have raised. Hopefully we'll try to pass this message, and let's see what and how we can help the seniors in the coming future. Once again, thank you so much, viewers, for watching this North American Muslim Foundation Senior Talk Show. Stay tuned for our next guest. Thank you once again, your host, Sajida Khan.